Ferruccio Lamborghini is celebrated as the visionary behind one of the most iconic luxury car brands in the world. Yet his journey to automotive fame is a story of remarkable evolution. Before Ferruccio made his mark in the world of supercars, he was already a powerhouse in a different industry: agricultural machinery. What's even less known is that before he became a titan in the tractor business, Ferruccio endured the hardships of being a prisoner of war. However, it was a fateful disagreement with a certain luxury car maker that redirected his career. How did he become a prisoner of war? What happened between Ferruccio and that certain luxury car maker to change his career? And how did Lamborghini become what they are today? To truly understand Ferruccio Lamborghini, we must first travel back to a small Italian town in 1916, where he was born into a family of grape farmers. Growing up in a post-war Italy marked by economic turmoil and widespread food shortages, Ferruccio faced a tough childhood. Despite these hardships, he maintained a hopeful outlook on life, working diligently on his parents' farm. His father had high hopes that Ferruccio would eventually take over the family business, continuing a tradition passed down through generations. However, Ferruccio's interests lay elsewhere. As a young boy, Ferruccio developed a passion for mechanics, often spending hours tinkering with the family's tractor. This early exposure to machinery ignited a lifelong fascination with engines and mechanical innovation. When the time came to choose a career path, Ferruccio faced a difficult decision: follow in his father's footsteps as a farmer, or pursue his passion for engineering. Despite his father's disappointment, Ferruccio chose the latter, moving to Bologna to study at a technical college. After completing his education, Ferruccio began working as a mechanic. However, his life took a dramatic turn when World War II erupted. Drafted into the Royal Italian Air Force, Ferruccio was stationed on the Greek island of Rhodes, where his mechanical skills were put to use, maintaining the Army's tractors and diesel trucks. Unbeknownst to him at the time, this experience would prove invaluable in his future endeavors. In 1943, Italy signed an armistice, and its troops were evicted from Rhodes as Germany took control. Ferruccio remained on the island, where he opened his own mechanical workshop. However, as the war neared its end in 1945, Rhodes fell to the Allied forces, and Ferruccio, like many others, was taken as a prisoner of war. Fortunately, his mechanical expertise spared him from a harsh fate. Instead of enduring the typical hardships of imprisonment, Ferruccio spent a year repairing vehicles for the Allied forces, before being allowed to return home to Italy in 1946. Upon his return, Ferruccio faced a new challenge. He was jobless and unsure of his next steps. While back in Italy, he noticed a growing need among farmers for affordable tractors. The post-war economy had left many farmers struggling to afford new machinery, and the high cost of petrol only exacerbated the issue. Recognizing an opportunity, Ferruccio leveraged his wartime experience and seized the moment when the Italian government began auctioning off military vehicles to fund the country's economic recovery. With his technical knowledge and a keen eye for a good deal, Ferruccio purchased a British Morris engine at auction and modified it to run on diesel, a much cheaper alternative to petrol. This innovation was groundbreaking and allowed him to create the first Lamborghini tractor. Despite the tractor's advanced design, breaking into a market dominated by established brands like Fiat and Landini was no easy task. Ferruccio started small, producing just one tractor per week, but his cost-effective designs slowly gained traction. To expand production, Ferruccio needed capital, and his father eventually agreed to use the family farm as collateral for a bank loan. With the funds secured, Ferruccio purchased 1,000 Morris engines and significantly ramped up production. His business quickly grew, and he soon established his own factory, hiring additional staff to meet the increasing demand. Ferruccio's ingenuity didn't stop there. He went on to design his own engine, further reducing costs and qualifying his tractors for government loans, which boosted sales even more. By the 1950s, Lamborghini tractors had become one of Italy's leading manufacturers, and Ferruccio was among the wealthiest men in the country. However, Ferruccio's ambitions extended beyond the world of agriculture. A car enthusiast at heart, he began modifying a Fiat Topolino he owned, which led to a short-lived racing career. After crashing during a race in Turin, Ferruccio decided to focus on his business ventures rather than pursuing racing further. Despite stepping away from the track, Ferruccio's love for cars never waned. Throughout the 1950s, he acquired numerous luxury vehicles, including models from Alfa Romeo, Maserati, and Ferrari. Yet, he found faults with each one, particularly his Ferrari 250 GT, which he criticized for being too noisy and uncomfortable for regular driving. His frustration peaked when he discovered that the clutch in his Ferrari was the same as those used in his tractors. After upgrading the clutch himself, Ferruccio approached Enzo Ferrari with suggestions for improvement, only to be met with arrogance and disdain. Enzo's dismissal and insult, claiming Ferruccio was only good for making tractors, ignited a fire within him. Determined to prove Ferrari wrong, Ferruccio set out to create a car that would surpass Ferraris in every way. With this new goal in mind, Ferruccio poached top talent from Ferrari and began working on his first car, targeting the Turin Auto Show as the perfect venue for its debut. Despite the tight timeline and initial setbacks, such as not having a finished engine in time for the show, Ferruccio's ingenuity prevailed. He presented the prototype, filled with bricks to mimic the weight of an engine, at the show. The car, named the Lamborghini 350 GT, was a success, selling 13 units at launch, a respectable start in the supercar market. However, Ferruccio's ambitions didn't stop there. His team secretly worked on a new project, the P400, a car with racing pedigree that would become the Lamborghini Miura. Initially reluctant to pursue this direction, Ferruccio eventually embraced the project as a means of marketing his brand. The Miura's innovative design, with its mid-engine placement inspired by Formula One cars, revolutionized the industry and solidified Lamborghini's reputation as a formidable competitor to Ferrari. As Lamborghini's car business flourished in the 1960s, Ferruccio faced new challenges in the following decade. Economic downturns and political turmoil in key markets led to significant financial losses, forcing Ferruccio to sell his tractor company and, eventually, his car company. Despite these setbacks, the Lamborghini brand endured, passing through various owners before ultimately being acquired by the Volkswagen Group, under which it has thrived in the 21st century. Ferruccio Lamborghini may not have lived to see his company dethrone Ferrari entirely, but his legacy lives on in the luxury sports car industry. Today, Lamborghini is synonymous with wealth, success, and the pursuit of perfection, an incredible testament to the man who dared to challenge the status quo and create a legend. Thank you for watching. If you liked this video, make sure to hit that like button and also don't forget to subscribe.